To say that Jujutsu Kaisen is popular would be the understatement of the century. I have never had this much trouble avoiding spoilers for anything. It feels like any time I open the internet, I'll be slapped in the face with something I had no business seeing yet. But I guess that's to be expected. After all, this series does have a character that was designed to be the coolest and best shonen character ever. And it works so well that if he's not on screen for a few minutes, his fans are all like, all jokes aside, JJK is fantastic despite its overzealous fan base. And I think that's because of two things. Firstly, while it's pretty standard shonen fare, it does it extremely well. After decades of the shonen formula getting refined and experimented with in series like Hunter x Hunter and Naruto, Akutami Gege has made one of the most sleek battle manga we've seen yet. The pacing is lightning fast, but it almost never feels like we're missing anything. Secondly, and you'll have to bear with me on this one, it understands what's appealing about tsundere and structures the story after it.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Wait. Don't leave. I swear I'm not just trying to talk about the best kind of waifu. I promise it'll make sense. Just give me a minute. Or 12. There is much more to a good tragedy than just suffering or a doomed character's inevitable demise. They make you want good things for the characters, even though you know their story ends in sorrow. You see them make decisions that are counter to what they want, or refuse to speak their deepest truths to a confidant. One who could help them see the error of their ways so they can get that happy ending. You know what that sounds like to me? What's the main characteristic of a tsundere? It's that they constantly refuse to tell anyone what they really feel, thus leading them to making decisions and take actions that almost always make their situations worse. But that only applies to characters and not the stories themselves, right? I mean, a series can't be a tsundere.
Wrong!
Jujutsu Kaisen, the series, is a tsundere, and the evidence is in one of its central themes, the power of love. There will be some massive spoilers going forward, because I can't make this point with only the material that's been animated. So if you aren't caught up with the manga, this is your jumping off point. It all starts with my boy Yuji and the death of his grandfather. When he passes, he tells Yuji to make sure that when he dies, he's surrounded by others. In this moment, he is telling Yuji to love and be loved in return. But almost immediately, the narrative has Yuji question this. How is dying peacefully worse than being surrounded by people? He's going to help people because he's a good person, not because he wants them to love him. JJK is already trying to reject itself. Of course it wants love to prevail. Yuji is a beacon of love after all, as he leaps into action to help people without question. But it just can't outright say that yet. Then you, the viewer, would know how it feels. Next is sweet baby Junpei, tragedy incarnate. When he goes on his rampage in the school, we see how rejecting love can feel cathartic sometimes. He's getting the revenge he thinks he's owed. So why doesn't he look happy? He's even rejecting his own feelings from earlier. And it's during his fight with Yuji that we see the truth come out. He's rejecting his role as a tragic character and opening up to Yuji. And here we see the positives that can come from that. He's being honest. And for a moment, he's being rewarded by asking for love and getting it from Yuji. Until Mahito rolls up like the little slut he is. Nope, it's still too early. The narrative can't have you seeing that love can actually win. If it does that, then you'll know how it really feels. Time to do something stupid and horrible so you can't possibly know what the theme really is. It's not like it wants you to know that love can conquer hate and negativity and put an end to curses, baka. But at some point, all good tsundere start to question what they're doing. And for Jujutsu Kaisen, that moment is the death of Kugisaki Nobara. The Shibuya incident is full of terrible, tragic moments, as the narrative tries to hide its truth from you as it mires itself in hopelessness. But situated in all of that is a glimmer of the theme. After Mahito slaps Nobara on the face, she thinks back on her life, and how for the most part, she rejected love. There were only a few people she cared about, and so, in her heart, she was surrounded by a bunch of empty chairs where loved ones should have been. Empty, except for the ones Fumi and her friends at Jujutsu High have taken. Here, she accepts that she is loved, and loves in return, and that her life, well, JJK is letting you see a glimpse of its truth, for real this time. That love is worth it, and maybe, if Nobara had accepted that earlier, things would have turned out better for her. But it's not time to fully accept it just yet. Nope, can't be vulnerable with the audience, so here's more pain. Or so it would seem. Yes, there's a lot of suffering to follow, and the end of the Shibuya arc isn't exactly happy. The world has been turned upside down, and we begin the culling game. But something has changed. The narrative tries to hide it still, but it's starting to be more open about its theme. What has changed, you ask? Well, Yuta is back. Yuta, the protagonist of Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The narrative still hasn't accepted that it can be fully open about the power of love conquering things like hate. But why would it bring back Yuta if that's not the point? After all, JJK 0 openly accepts the theme of love. Yuta beats Geto by openly admitting that he wants to love and be loved, giving up himself for the sake of his loved ones. Even his power, Copy, is an extension of that love, as he always carries a piece of those he cares about with him. And it's not just Yuta. There are new characters showing up left and right, and almost all of them are expressing some sort of love. Hakari Kinji may seem like an ill-mannered delinquent, but he is very in tune with people's emotions and allowed an enemy to work out his frustrations on him and encouraged him to pursue his dream of being a mangaka. He even has a pachinko-themed domain expansion based on a dating sim. His whole deal is love. Love of self. Love for self-expression. What's more is that the villains were always the way the narrative rebukes showing that it's about love. The villains always crushed love, and when Sukuna is faced with the very notion of love, he is adamant that he has no need for it, that it is worthless to him, and he only wants strong opponents to entertain him. Kenjaku similarly claims to only want to be entertained by what the future will bring, but he finds himself enraptured by Takaba Fumihiko's love for comedy, and it is in their weird, beautiful little encounter that love is first accepted as the prevailing theme. As of chapter 249, Sukuna is beginning to question his ideals and need for solitude. Not so much that he'll easily change, mind you, that's not the kind of person he is, but he's been swallowed by Yuta's domain expansion. And Yuta is not alone. It's Yuta and Yuji versus Sukuna, the two most loving characters in the series, versus the one who claims to be completely devoid of love. And so we finally reach the best part of a tsundere. We've seen the denial blush. We've been abused to hide the truth. And we've watched the series grapple with itself and what it wants. Now we get to hear it finally admit that it does actually love us. Probably. Maybe. Hopefully? Who knows? This series has been a wild ride, but no matter how dark it's gotten, no matter how many characters have been taken from us, I've always seen that glimmer of hope in the darkness. Because love conquers all. Even the most stubborn of tsundere.
You've lost your mind. You've lost your goddamn mind, Charlie!